Names that you're familiar with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And are they?
Yes.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of the message exchange you had between yourself and the phone number that you know to be associated with Leticia Stauchs?
Yes.
All right, Your Honor, at this time we would move for the admission of People's Exhibit 207.
No defense. Exhibit 207 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Okay. And Your Honor, permission to publish.
You may.
Ms. Hicks, messages are going to be displayed behind you.
Okay.
If it's easy for you to stand next to that, you can do that.
Okay.
We may still have a pointer there. You're probably familiar with using a pointer as a teacher. So if you want to use that.
Okay.
Great. Your Honor, if you would turn on the...
It is on.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay, great. Now, Ms. Hicks, you've explained that your telephone number. We see this first message displayed here on the screen. Who's sending that message?
I am.
Okay, and what does it say? Can you read it for us?
Hi, Tisha. This is Leslie Hicks at Mountain Ridge Middle School. I left you a phone message yesterday, and I'm wondering if you received it. Would it be possible for you to call me today at this number or to email me? I'd like to talk to you about the resource teacher position. Thank you.
All right. And just to make sure that your voice is projecting to all of our jurors, is it possible for you to stand on the other side of the screen? All right. And what date was that message sent by you?
January 16th, 2020.
Okay. And we'll move on to the next message. And again, the telephone number that you see in this message, you're familiar with that number? Okay. And so we see a maybe Nicole. Does that mean anything to you? Okay. What is the response that you receive after you sent your first message?
I have iMessages. I will email you.
Okay. And what date was that sent?
1/16/2020.
Okay, great. And we'll move onwards. What's your response?
Great, thank you.
Okay. The following day, you send another response. What did you send on January 17th?
Hi, Tisha. This is Leslie Hicks at Mountain Ridge again. I sent you an email yesterday. Is it possible for you to get back to me today? Thank you.
Okay. And did you get a response?
I emailed you back.
Okay. And was that sent to you the same day?
Correct.
And so, Ms. Hicks, as part of this process, at this point, January 17th-ish, where is the defendant in the application or hiring process at this point?
At this point, she has completed her interview, and I'm in the process of checking references.
Okay. And if you want, you can take a seat now. We'll come back to more of the messages. So as part of that application process, you referenced obtaining references. Is that right?
Correct.
Was the defendant able to provide you with some references?
Yes, on her application, she had references, and I was having trouble getting a hold of some of the references. And so through the course of our dialogue, I asked her for additional ones.
Okay. Do you remember a particular reference by the name of Connie Huddle?
Yes.
Do you remember the first telephone number that was provided to you for Connie Huddle?
I remember that it was an area code from South Carolina.
Okay.
I believe it was, I know it started with a six.
And that's fine.
Okay.
Fair to say it's been a while since you've seen that?
Yes, it has.
Okay. And do you recall giving a statement to Detective Marissa Williams on January 31st of 2020?
Yes.
Do you recall giving those specific telephone number to the detective that day?
I do.
And would seeing your statement refresh your recollection as to that specific telephone number?
Yes, it would.
Your Honor, permission to approach?
You may. Go ahead.
All right, Ms. Hicks, as far as the first telephone number that was provided to you by the defendant here, does that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay. What was the first telephone number the defendant provided to you for a contact named Connie Huddle?
It was 843-504-6724.
And what happened when you tried to contact that telephone number?
I have a caller ID on my telephone, and the name Eugene Stauchs came up.
Are you familiar with that name?
Other than the last name, I was not familiar with the name at the time. No.
Okay. And I'll take a step back. The first telephone number that you called, was there more than one number that you were provided for Connie Huddle?
I don't remember.
Okay. And again, Your Honor, permission to approach?
You may.
Ms. Hicks, do you recall talking to Detective Williams and providing her with a very specific first telephone number?
Yes.
And would reviewing that statement refresh your recollection as to the first telephone number?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Does that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
What was the first telephone number that you called?
843-957-3486.
What happened when you called that first telephone number? Were you able to get through?
No.
What did you ask for after you didn't get through with that telephone number?
I asked if there was a different number.
Okay. And were you provided a different number by the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. And from memory, are you able to recall what that second number was?
843-604 6724.
All right. And I'll ask you again would seeing a statement of your report refresh your recollection as to that specific telephone number?
Yes.
Okay. And can you review your statement for that second specific telephone number?
Yes. 843-504-6724.
Okay, thank you. A lot of different numbers. You called various numbers as it relates to references.
Yes, I did.
And so now I'll come back to that. The question that I had is, when you were actually able to complete a call, can you tell the jury what you heard on that call?
Yes, a female answered and didn't identify who it was, but I heard children in the background.
Okay. And were you
If I catch or hear of anybody on my channel calling any of these numbers, you will be blocked from my channel. There is no going real life. I don't know why KKTV is broadcasting these numbers, and I don't care if it's 3 years ago. People have had telephone numbers for 20, 30 years. Again, if I hear or catch anyone on my channel calling any of these numbers, you will be blocked. I do not tolerate, zero tolerance for going real life.
Did you ask, what did you do when you
Yes,
heard?
I asked if it was Connie. And if I recall, the person said no. And,
Hold on.
okay,
Wait a minute.
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Ms. Gratiano?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not asking what the other person said, Your Honor. And
okay.
But further, it's also not offered for the truth in the matter asserted.
Okay. Well, then where are you going?
I'm just going to ask.
You might want to approach it.
Your Honor, permission to approach.
Okay.
Let me repeat for those in the back. If I hear of anyone calling any of these numbers, you will be blocked from my channel. I have zero tolerance for going real life.
Ms. Hicks, how long was the duration of that call?
Just a few seconds.
Okay. After that interaction, did you have any sort of concerns about moving forward with that application process as it related to the defendant?
No.
Okay. And why is that? At that point, where were you at in the interview process?
Well, the interview had been completed, and as I said, we were checking for references, and so sometimes people give incorrect numbers, and so I asked for additional numbers for references.
In terms of educational background, is that also part of the interview process?
Yes.
Okay. And did the defendant provide you with some sort of information regarding an educational background?
I had access to her resume, yes.
Okay. In terms of the educational background, was there a particular degree that the defendant claimed that she had?
I did say she had a doctorate.
From where?
From Liberty University.
And were you able, as part of the interview process, able to vet that?
That's not my role. That's not my role.
Okay. In terms of during the application and interview process, did the defendant ask to be referred to by any other names?
No.
Okay. What about any other educational references, either through speaking with her or through emails, text messages, any other way that she wanted to be referred to as?
She did sign her emails, Dr. Stauchs.
Okay. Ultimately, what was the decision with regard to hiring the defendant?
We did eventually offer her a position at the school.
And is that a decision that you unilaterally make?
During the interview process, there are three of us that decided that we would like to move forward. And then I do the reference checks, and then I bring that information to my principal, and we decided to move forward.
Okay.
Yes.
And so based on that decision, when would have been the first time that she made contact with either you or the school at that point?
Well, at that point, it's a recommendation for hire goes to our district human resources department, and the rest of the process goes through them. And then once they are have gone through their process, she's recommended to come over to the school.
Okay. And for that, was she recommended to come to the school?
Yes.
And do you recall a rough approximation of when that would have happened?
Yes, the 22nd of January.
Of 2020?
Yes.
If we can project people's 207 again, Your Honor. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Hicks. As we scroll onwards past January 17th, we will move to, we can continue on, and we'll move to, looks like January 20th. There's a message that is sent by the defendant's telephone number. What is that message?
What time do I be there tomorrow?
Okay, and what date is that sent?
That is 1/21.
Okay. And the subsequent message after that, what else does that message, that phone number say to you?
And do I need to bring anything specific? I just hung up with the district and they said to be there tomorrow.
Great. And what was your response?
Hi, Tisha. We're so excited to have you here. The workday begins at 7:30. You don't need to bring anything in particular. We will have a sub there tomorrow that has been filling in. You'll have an opportunity to shadow him and meet the kids, as well as get set up with the things you will need. Sherry Fuller, our SPED department leader, will meet you tomorrow as well. See you soon.
Great. And what was the next exchange that the defendant's telephone number sent to you?
Good evening.
And what date was that sent?
And that date is on the 22nd.
Okay. And can you read?
January.
Great. Can you read the rest of the message?
I wanted to ask your guidance about what to do about tomorrow. I had scheduled that interview at the district office before getting hired. I understand they probably have someone someone in mind, but I don't want to
Bear with me.
burn any bridges and would like to at least let them know my interest in eventually moving up later, or even if it's